Crimson Tide, known for his bruising runs and devastating blocks. Now he's bulldozing through sports talk with that same championship intensity. Joining him is his son, Xavier, a savant of football knowledge and statistical insight. He's your go-to source for the latest recruiting news and insider updates from across the Bama Nation. And Simeon, the thinker and contemplator, bringing you insight and knowledge that is logical, thoughtful, and on point. Together, they deliver fair and balanced analysis from an insider's perspective with real conversations where the callers, the listeners, and the online maniacs get in on the action by sharing their thoughts, their comment, and their reaction. Join our online maniacs at facebook.com/The Martin Houston Show. You're listening to Tide, 100.9 and 1230 WTBC. It's time for kickoff. So buckle up and get ready, because this is the sound of Bama sports. The Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon is live. Roll Tide, roll!
Roll Tide, roll. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're live, local, ready to get things rolling. This is the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The phone lines are open, 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. That is the Empowerment Training and Consulting Hotline. Of course, the live stream chat is open for business as well. We invite you to get your thoughts, your comments, your reactions, your questions for the day, for the week, for the month, for opening game week. I always say game week. I'm sorry. I mean reporting for Alabama this week, just a couple days away. Hard to believe. Almost all the talking is over. All the talking, for the most part, is over. It is a Monday edition of the program. With that said, that means that we'll add Kennington Smith III to the conversation. We'll get his thoughts on this latest court ruling. We welcome you to give your thoughts on the latest court ruling. We will, without a doubt, work that into the conversation as well. So hard to believe another ruling that just hurts college sports. And like there's a bunch of idiots and children that for some reason have been put in charge of college sports, college athletics, whether it be the NCAA or the judges who are making rulings. Seems to be activism versus making logical rules. It's just, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about them. But question we got for you today, maniacs. What are you most excited about? That may be easy, right? Most excited. But also the other side of that coin is, what are you least excited about or most worried about? Let's ask it that way. And it could be the same answer. It could literally be the same. The thing that you are most excited about and most worried about could be the exact same thing. So, most excited, most worried. That's just one of the questions we have for the day. I also like to do something similar. This first time you kicked off a season with us, the coach for the day. You the coach for the day. which group you going to watch? Where you the head coach, not the position coach, the head coach, and you can go and and watch any group. What's the first group you go and watch and why? So so maniacs, that's the question that's up for you as well. You're the coach for the day. Which group um, are you gonna go watch? And also at the same time, what were you most excited about and what you most worried about? So and that those answers may be tied together. I'm most worried about this group, so that's the group I'm gonna go watch. I'm most excited about this group, so this is the last one. What and of course, I think the easy answer to this one, Simeon, which group are you least worried about? I think everybody got the same answer on that, right? Anyway, so we're gonna throw it out there. Tell us why though. I see Heavy Hitter already responding. Heavy Hitter, tell us why you're going to watch the offensive line and what are you looking for? You're the coach. You're the coach. You're the coach. So you not just watching it, but you're looking for something. You're looking for something. So remember that this is the day that the Lord has made. So let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Good morning, Simeon. How you doing, sir?
Good morning. Good morning. Doing good.
Good. Hey, listen, Simeon, let me ask you another question on that coach question. Now, Coach, have I ever told you the difference between Coach Curry and Coach Stallings, like as far as how they coach? Have I ever shared that with you? I don't know if I have. When I got Coach Curry used to coach his coaches, okay? So if he saw me do something wrong, he would get on to the coach. I mean, tell the coach, hey, you need to get Martin doing this. He did that more than he did directly to me. But I remember the first time, I think it was a spring practice, and I didn't make many mistakes, you know. So that may be why, that may be why, Simeon, I don't remember Coach Curry as much because he was only here 1 year, and I probably only made one or two mistakes the 2 years I was with him. So he may have not been around. That's probably what it is. But in case he did see it, he still told the coach to coach me up. And I'd never forget, Coach Stallings yelled at me. It kind of surprised me. You know what I mean? Like you're not expecting the head coach. He was standing behind the running backs, like instead of out in front, he was behind me, and he yelled, man. You know, certain body parts got tight and tense, and all of that good stuff. So, what type of coach would you be? Simon, would you be one of those that's out there in the field, in the game, showing how to hit, or just coaching up somebody else?
Uh, Probably if I'm starting out as a coach, I'd like to be more hands on, just be more rah rah. But as I got older, I would probably want to actually start building up the coaches around me and giving them more responsibility.
Yeah,
So I would say, as a younger coach, I would definitely probably want to be more like, like intense and passionate. Not that like it changes as you get older, but you're just looking for not just it only be you
yeah.
having to carry all of that.
And I think that's a great approach. I do a leadership training talking about how do you build a team. And one of the things I talk about is ownership starts with leadership. And if you want the players to take ownership, they have to see you uh, taking ownership. And I have a I had I'm thinking I'm gonna have to start breaking it out because I forget young people don't know this. They don't know man in the mirror. They don't know Michael Jackson. So the last time I taught it, I referenced like it's like Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror, and you would have thought that it was a couple of them looked at me like I had like, oh, what's that, Martin? But in the Man in the Mirror, and so to your point, I definitely would agree. You need to be out there intense and all that, and I think that's what happened to Coach Dubose. I think Coach Dubose tried to emulate Bill Curry's philosophy. And so he didn't have the connection as deep as he needed with his players or his coaches. But part of the reason I think he did that was Coach Stallings was so engaged, Simeon, that it bothered him because he was sometimes seemed to be overbearing, and there was times that they contradicted each other, like on the field. Like he would say, "Do this," Stallings would say this, and sometimes that intense, and
That's not gonna work.
that's not gonna work, right? So it's interesting what the approach. So I think you're absolutely right in the approach that you said you would take. So
Regardless of what you are, you have to build that relationship with the players. You just have to, for sure.
yeah, there's three. I call it the threefold cord. The threefold cord is that every leader, whether it's the head coach or the position coach, they have to build connection, buy-in, and trust from the players. And when they get that, and then they start showing that ownership and modeling that ownership, I think you begin to see a team take that next step. That's why I'm excited about what's to come for 2026. I think this coaching staff, I think the board has done that, for 2 years. I think this staff has done that for 2 years. And even with the new guys coming in, it seems like Derek Nix and Clem, all seem to have gotten that connection and buy-in. And so really excited about what this team's potential could be. We have, once again, Maniacs, we're asking you, you're the coach for the day, and we're going to work this in throughout the program. So you're the coach for the day. Which group are you going to watch first? Which group are you going to watch first? And which group are you most excited about / most worried about? Could be the same group, could be two totally different groups. We're going to add Kennington Smith III to that conversation on the other side of the break. We invite you to that break as well. Simeon, did I do my opening? This is the day. Yes, I did it right. Yeah. So hey, man, when you get to be 56 and you have all these things going in your head, I guess it can all kind of run together. But we're glad that you, Maniacs, have got up and at 'em with us. So we want to remind you, so you don't forget, 205-342-9904. That's the Empowerment Training and Consulting Hotline, as well as the live stream chat. We've already got Heavy Hitter hitting it. He wants to go watch. Come back on the other side, and I'll tell you which group he's going to watch first. You tell us what group and why. Coach for the day. Make do this all week long. Roll Tide, everybody.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good morning to you on your Back to Work Monday. We start off nice and quiet, as we typically do around the area. Moving on McFarland, not doing too shabby. Intersection stoplight delays is all you have between Academy and 43 for now. And we're also looking good on 2059. It is as smooth as silk. Traveling in between University and Joe Malisham, you're all good to go there as well. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, I'm Tammy Thomas.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's.
Save thousands on a new Nissan, and every Women's Wednesday, get a $49.99 oil change with a complimentary multi-point inspection at Townsend Nissan. Your family in the car business.
Now at Lowe's, faster quotes start at Lowe's Pro Desk. Got a material list handwritten on a sticky note or saved as a photo? Perfect. Bring it in and get a quote in minutes. Plus, access thousands of products beyond what's in store or on Lowe's.com, right from the Lowe's Pro Desk.
Where they do that at? If you're looking for the ultimate experience in electronic bingo, head to Bama Entertainment. We've expanded at our location. Now with 2 buildings, not just one. Come for our mystery wall cash drawing Monday through Thursday, every 30 minutes. On the weekend, live entertainment or DJ. Ticket drawing for the jackpot wheel spins and cash giveaway. Don't forget about our double jackpot payout up to $5,000. Great atmosphere, outstanding customer service. When they do that at Bama Entertainment, where the odds are always in your favor. Take exit 45 off 2059, sponsored by Red.
New Mazdas, under $29,900. Now through Monday at the all-new Tuscaloosa Mazda. During our grand reopening, 3 new models, under $29,900. Hot new Mazda 3s, the all-wheel drive Mazda CX-30, and the rugged new Mazda CX-50. Plus, get 0% financing for 72 months during the More to Move You event at Tuscaloosa Mazda. New location, corner of Skyland East Boulevard and Palisades Drive. TuscaloosaMazda.com. For details, visit TuscaloosaMazda.com.
What does it mean to advertise and do your marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa? Melissa started her business in 2014. What would you say to someone considering Town Square Media Tuscaloosa?
My experience with Town Square Media has been awesome, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I think that this is the first time in my marketing experience that I've been able to see my return on investment. I would definitely say in the past that has not been the case. In this, I like knowing that that's 100%. A lot of the marketing we've done has been radio. You guys have so much more to offer than that, whether it's, websites, from targeted marketing to radio. You are kind of a one-stop shop, and it makes doing marketing so much easier. So I would definitely recommend it.
For more info on marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa, call 205-345-7200 or click on Advertise with Us on our website.
Hey, I'm Martin Houston, and I want to tell you about exciting news happening at Box Eye Care. They've moved to their new location, bringing you a brand new lab, stylish new frames, and a fresh look just for you. Enjoy their expanded frame inventory, competitive prices, and faster service, all with the same great level of service you've come to know and trust. Discover this full-service eye care at Box Eye Care's new location. With their in-house lab, they offer unbeatable value and one of the largest frame collections in town. Schedule your eye exam today and walk out with new glasses in less than an hour in most cases. Visit boxeyecare.com. That's boxeyecare.com, or call 205-342-0660. That's 205-342-0660. Visit them at 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. That's Box Eye Care. Your vision, our priority.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Here's your Tuscaloosa and West Alabama forecast. Slightly cooler temperatures and lower humidity will offer a much-needed relief from the heat. Cloudy skies here to start, but turning sunny this afternoon. 89 our high today. Northwest breeze. Clear, pleasant tonight. Lows tonight dropping to 71. Sunny skies tomorrow. High 92. An afternoon shower chance makes a return. Wednesday, sunny, hotter. Readings in the mid-90s. Richard DeWetting at the Weather Channel for Town Square Media Tuscaloosa.
It's 72 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
It's time for the Martin Houston Show. With the same hard-hitting, no-nonsense approach in which he played the game, Martin will take you inside the locker room, down on the field, and across the goal line with his in-depth analysis.
Tide get ready to roll, baby. Tide get ready to roll. Only a couple days away. And so with that said, we're going to bring Kennington Smith III in to get his thoughts as Alabama is approaching the official start to Ward number 19. So we invite Kennington Smith III into the conversation. Good morning, Kennington. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Doing well. Hey, man, I just still want to thank you last week for jumping on with us in the middle of the week to talk about that patch. Pretty interesting conversation. I find it interesting. I don't even know if Simeon is aware of this. We were talking about the big name brands. Alabama A&M has went out and got a patch sponsor. So, I can't remember the name of the company, but they were the first HBCU organization team to get a patch. I guess I'll let you have a little time to think about it. Will they or won't they ultimately? And if they will they be an early adopter, middle of the pack, or be drug into it, kicking and screaming?
Yeah, I'm going to say yes, eventually it happens. and I'm going to say they're probably going to be towards the end of the pack.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that they're going to be like last or like in like the last group, but probably somewhere between like the midway point and like the end. They're somewhere in there, I think.
Yeah, and do you think that hurts or helps them? I mean, do you think it hurts them in terms of where they want to get to if they're reluctant? And do you think that's going to be more of the administration or more of the coaching staff?
Yeah, probably more. I would say probably more of like administration. Greg Burns seems to be, Craig Burns is a pretty calculated person. I think while he's very involved and he is one of the top ADs in the country, I think he's gonna kind of survey the landscape a little bit before making that decision. See what the market value is, and then make a decision from there. Is what I would think. I don't know if it's gonna hurt Alabama in the short term. It probably would take, I would think, a couple of years to kind of see the gap in, like, let's say the extra $20 million that Ohio State or Notre Dame or somebody else may have at that point. It's probably going to take a little time, I think, to like see that difference. But obviously, over time, it's going to, manifest itself.
Yeah.
If that $20 million continues to compound. So it probably would take a little while, but certainly it's going to make a difference in the long term.
Yeah, Simeon, and one of the things I asked you, Simeon, and Kenny, you can respond on it before we flip the conversation. Does it matter which teams are the early adopters? For instance, we remember the time when the recruit was coming down between LSU, Georgia, and Alabama. Let's just be real, right? And I don't know that we have that type of rivalry on the recruiting trail now. I don't know if that's been established, but I can tell you, I think if the Auburn Tigers potentially jump on board, LSU jumps on board, Georgia jumps on board, Alabama adopts a little quicker. I think it matters who it is in that group. If it's Kentucky and Vanderbilt and those as the early adopters in the SEC or in Alabama's recruiting footprint, maybe they're a little hesitant. Do you think it matters who's in that first early adopter group?
Yes, of course. If your main rivals are doing it, you probably need to do it. But
Yeah.
I personally don't even think that they should wait until. I don't think they should give Ohio State, Notre Dame, like any time to even have
the extra.
Because like 20 isn't going to go all to NIL, but that's a couple five. That's a 5-star and a 4-star, like in a high quality 4-star in there. That can totally sway based off of a couple extra $100,000. And so I don't think you can even afford to let Ohio State or Notre Dame or whoever else, because you see who's already done it, and you already know that Indiana, Michigan, Oregon, Oregon's probably just going to sign a little extra with Nike and get an extra boost already on top of the money they already have coming in from Nike. And so I just don't want to see that to become another reason why. Because Alabama, be real, Alabama is already behind those schools when it comes to NIL without a jersey patch. And so if they're doing it with struggling with more money to give, then I think Alabama needs to hop on it as quick as possible. I understand it takes time, but as quick as possible.
Simeon, you just took me down another angle that I like to get Kennington's thoughts on. I was going to say the reason I think they may have to move is if you wait, you're going to be the second, third, like right now. If J.P. Morgan Chase comes after you, right, you're going to be following in Ohio State's footsteps, right? So you're going to be copying or that. You're going to have to listen with that. Look at Alabama, man. They're getting JP. Ohio State was the brand that they wanted first because they're the bigger brand. Blah 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 blah. Right. And so every time somebody signs, you potentially lose them based on how many they're willing to sign with. I don't know. But Kennington, is it possible that Alabama goes after Nike and says, tell you what, Nike, if you'll throw in an extra 25 million, we'll make you the exclusive sponsor for all. You see what I'm saying? Like, in other words, Nike's already on there. Do they go after Nike for more money to just be exclusive and then allow Nike to use that in their promotion?
It's possible. I think that they are going to leave no stone unturned in order to gain leverage, however that may look. So I think that it's certainly possible. I think that, like Simeon said, like Nike will probably be more inclined to do like that type of deal with like an Oregon, maybe like as like a first priority. But if Alabama were to come, let's say before Oregon, and try to secure something like that, maybe it could be possible. Or Nike could recognize that, the partnership with Alabama has been extremely lucrative for them over the years. So even that in itself might be able to push them to say, okay, might we be able to do something a little bit more like incentive based. So I definitely think that it's possible and there's a relationship there. Like Simeon said, it really just kind of depends on how quickly they jump into the pool, because again, if Oregon comes in and then secures a similar type deal, well, then there might not be a need for Nike to do an additional deal, with Alabama or any other school.
Yeah. And, go ahead, Simeon. Go ahead.
With talking about, I don't think Alabama can wait just another full season, especially I'm thinking about everything here. If we're very optimistic about this season, but there is also a chance where Alabama could end up an 8-4. It could. I mean, they could go 5-0, 3-0 to end the season, and then 0-4. Like, that's possible. Like, I mean, as much as we don't want that to be, that's possible. I just don't know if the public perception of Alabama another year of a quote unquote disappointing season, because if Alabama fans are this disappointed about making the playoffs and making the SEC championship, then I couldn't imagine what the public perception of an 8-4 not making the playoffs, because this was worse than Kalen DeBoer's first season, perception wise, in my opinion.
Yeah, it really could be. Yeah, and that's like I said, that's an interesting dilemma. A listener just sent me something that said that LSU has already signed with someone, already agreed to a patch with an energy company, and that's what you're gonna. Man, there's so many billionaire companies in these other states. But I think there's something to having a prestigious logo if you're a prestigious program. And I think Alabama only has a handful of programs that we talked about, Kennington, that they're gonna allow that patch to be on. I just don't, and that's what I'm saying. I think they have to go ahead and get out there if they're gonna do it. And Alabama is already middle of the pack with NIL spend, to me. And I think Alabama has to go to their fan base to have a big boost. I don't see any big time alumni out there that's going to come to Alabama's rescue. There are people you and I would never know that could drop $1 million for Texas A&M in Texas as a write-off for one of their energy divisions. So I think when Alabama has a chance, they may have to move. We'll see what they do. That's Kennington Smith, the third. That's Simeon Houston. I'm Martin Houston. We'll be back to kick off the second half with Kennington's thoughts on he's the coach for the day. Which group is he going out there to watch first? And then which group he's most excited about or most worried about? And then if whatever else, he may have some other questions that he wanted to get to. But that's what we have on the docket for Kennington Smith III, as well as what we have on the docket for you. But Kennington, think on this. As we come back from the break, I'm going to let you take it, and I want you to talk to us about the craziness of yet another ruling in college football and eligibility for the 2022 class. What do you think about it? What does it mean? Where do we go from here? We'll have all of that and more on the other side of the break.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good morning to you on your Back to Work Monday. We start off nice and quiet as we typically do around the area. Moving on McFarland, not doing too shabby. Intersection stoplight delays is all you have between Academy and 43 for now. And we're also looking good on 2059. It is as smooth as silk. Traveling in between University and Joe Malisham, you're all good to go there as well. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, I'm Tammy Thomas.
Hey folks, this is Richard Adams with Adams Services. If you lived in Alabama very long, you know the power always seems to go out when you need it the most. A Generac standby generator keeps your lights on, your air conditioning running, and your family comfortable automatically. Right now, we're offering 0% financing for 60 months on approved credit. Give us a call at 205-339-6540 or visit us at adamssvcs.com. We would love the opportunity to earn your business.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a social media manager.
Did you just post our Q4 earnings to your personal social media?
Oh yeah, used a trending audio and everything.
That's confidential financial data.
Relax. It only went a little viral.
The SEC just commented with the eyeball watching emoji.
This is the ad for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
What does it mean to advertise and do your marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa? Melissa started her business in 2014. What would you say to someone considering Town Square Media Tuscaloosa?
My experience with Town Square Media has been awesome, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I think that this is the first time in my marketing experience that I've been able to see my return on investment. I would definitely say in the past that has not been the case. In this, I like knowing that that's 100%. A lot of the marketing we've done has been radio. You guys have so much more to offer than that, whether it's, websites from targeted marketing to radio. You are kind of a one-stop shop, and it makes doing marketing so much easier. So I would definitely recommend it.
For more info on marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa, call 205-345-7200 or click on Advertise with Us on our website.
Hey, I'm Martin Houston, and I want to tell you about exciting news happening at Box Eye Care. They've moved to their new location, bringing you a brand new lab, stylish new frames, and a fresh look just for you. Enjoy their expanded frame inventory, competitive prices, and faster service, all with the same great level of service you've come to know and trust. Discover this full-service eye care at Box Eye Care's new location. With their in-house lab, they offer unbeatable value and one of the largest frame collections in town. Schedule your eye exam today and walk out with new glasses in less than an hour in most cases. Visit boxeyecare.com. That's boxeyecare.com or call 205-342-0660. That's 205-342-0660. Visit them at 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. That's Box Eye Care. Your vision, our priority.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. Hey, listen, if you missed last night, we had our Houston Huddle kick off for the 2026 season. Great time. We talked about our starting lineups, gave out some grades, not for all positions, but some grades, graded out the offense, the defense, special teams. You can find that at the Houston Huddle on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Our X, like, follow, and share there each Sunday at 6 o'clock p.m. We go live, but then, of course, the podcast is available for playback. So it's the Houston Huddle. 3 voices, every angle, and beyond the headline, the Houston Huddle. All right, Kennington. We'll start off with giving your thoughts on the craziness of this latest ruling out of Colorado and what you think it means for college sports.
Chaos in the short term. Just because I don't know that a lot of coaches have a big grasp on this and like what exactly it means, and what exactly it looks like. So it'll be interesting to see how coaches manage it. And I think that in some ways you could see these schools operate fall camp like an NFL training camp. So you know how in the NFL there are free agents at certain positions that are waiting, for something to happen in camp that might open up a spot for them, right? Like, somebody gets hurt. Now, a team needs to add a running back, a quarterback, an offensive lineman. Then they bring in a free agent, bring him in for camp, see what happens, et cetera. Like, could something similar happen here, right? Alabama's short on receivers. Now there are a surplus of experienced receivers now available to, jump on the team because of this ruling potentially. Does Alabama get through a week of fall camp and say, okay, we need 2 receivers because somebody tweaked their hamstring or we're just light on numbers or whatever roster needs might arise at that time. So teams may be operated like that. I think you'll see probably a bigger effect in winter, spring sports because coaches will have a little bit more time to figure out exactly where their rosters are at and what they may need. So I don't know how big of an impact it's going to have in football, but certainly I think coaches are going to be kind of looking around to see if they can add depth at certain positions and maybe take advantage of this ruling.
Yeah, the couple things. P. Fields asking what happened. P. Fields, a court in Colorado, issued a nationwide class ruling injunction that made the 2022 class eligible to come back and play. In short, I mean, just so the guys who just graduated, guys who are physically in a camp right now with an NFL team could get cut today, released today, or choose to leave today and come back and play for their high school, or they can enter the portal and go play for someone else if there's roster spots left. If a team doesn't have 120 guys, there's an opening on that roster for football. I think you run a risk if you bring a guy back. For instance, Dewberry comes back, and all of a sudden we say, okay, Dewberry, a year older, he's the best left guard we got. And then the injunction is lifted, Kennington, 3 games into the season. He's been your starter. Right. Not only have you disenfranchised all the guys in camp, but you now have lost a guy who started. So I think football has a big risk, but rumor is, the word on the street is that Nate Oates has already reached out to the former center at Michigan State. So if the injunction is still in effect come that time, maybe you take that risk in basketball or, as you said, the winter sports. And then, of course, hopefully it'll be cleared up. But just another ruling, Kennington, that looks like kids are in charge of college athletics.
Yeah, and the reason why there is a ruling, for those who don't know, is because the NCAA approved the 5 years to play 5 situation, which is ultimately a good thing. But I'm not sure who's representing these, group of athletes. So basically the injunction is, okay, everybody who was in school last year will have an opportunity to take advantage of this 5 for 5, except for the class that had just graduated. So they didn't get an opportunity to earn an extra year, which irreparable damages is like the buzzword to use, in college athletics. So a court ruled that the senior class that just graduated didn't have this opportunity, so it will cause irreparable harm if they didn't get that opportunity. So now it's opened the door for kids to come back. I do agree with you that it does mess up the chemistry of the team. You mentioned Cam Dewberry. Let's just keep using this as an example. Like, let's say Cam Dewberry would want to come back to Alabama, or Alabama's exploring that option. Like, is Cam Dewberry playing for free because is the budget not allocated for this season, money wise? Like, do you just have $600,000 lying around to get to an offensive lineman? I'm not sure that's how much it would cost, but like, just for example, right? Like,
yeah,
they're gonna want to come back and be compensated well. Like, these guys aren't coming from NFL camps. They just signed, camp bonuses or whatever. They're not coming to Alabama, Georgia, et cetera, to play for $50,000, $25,000. We'll try to scrap some change together to get you on the team. I don't think it's going to be a situation like that. So how many teams just have 6 figures, 7 figures, et cetera, lying around that they can just throw and add somebody to add to their team the week that fall camp starts?
Yes, that's right. And then you have and Kenneth and Simeon and I talked about it last night. The moment a player, go ahead, Simeon. The moment that a kid sign, staying with Dewberry, the moment Dewberry signs with Alabama, which guy goes back into the portal from Alabama?
Right.
That was already here. Like, and of course, technically they don't have a portal window, but could you imagine the lawsuits that would pursue if I practice all spring, all summer, and then you bring a guy in the last week, and now you tell me I don't have an option to leave, but the school has an option to bring in a guy to take my spot? Man, it will be absolute chaos in that sense, especially since a guy now knows that even if he goes somewhere and doesn't get to play immediately, at least he still has 3 years or 4 years, where before he would have been down to 1 year, 2 years, or whatever, because of the ruling. He gets that extra year. So it makes it more likely that he's willing to go somewhere else and try to earn a spot. So it's chaos as usual around college sports. All right, Kennington, coach for the day. Team runs out on the field. Everybody has their position group, sort of like media days, but you're the coach today. You can go anywhere you want on the field. Where are you going?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Why
say.
and why? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say the offensive line. It's just the most important group on the team for Alabama this year. That's gonna determine their success. So I'm gonna say offensive line, and there's just so many layers to it, right? You might, to watch Adrian Clem coach the group, to watch the rotation, to watch how many times, let's say, the first team rotates. William Sanders feels like one of the more hyped players on this year's team relative to past production. And a lot of the conversation around the offensive line this spring was kind of like a wait till William Sanders comes back and comes into the fold. So I want to see what William Sanders looks like. Health wise, and then just kind of, how he's moving, where he's grouping at, kind of where he's working at. A lot of guys can be rotating in a lot of different spots. There's just so many levels of intrigue with the offensive line, on top of the fact that how they gel or how they don't gel is going to ultimately determine Alabama's season. So if I had to choose any group, it would be that one.
All right. Who's your 5? Who's your first 5 in that group?
First 5, I would have, Jackson Lloyd, Michael Carroll, Javen James, Rayson Delgado, William Sanders. I know I didn't go left to right, tackle to tackle, but that would be the 5, I would think.
All right. And so who would immediately be the guys to watch? Who would you have your eye on?
Just with the offense, with the offensive line still, or just
yeah. After that 5, like that's the same 5 that.
Okay.
That's the
Yeah, I
same
see what you're saying.
five Xavier had. That same five I have. But we threw in some caveats of the only one I would say that's probably locked in without a question to me, and Simeon, I let you respond before Kenneth answered, is Carroll is going to be in the first five and Lloyd's going to be in the first five. I think the other three positions could potentially have some competitors.
Well, Ray Grubb said something about Delgatti as well during the spring, but that was, Sanders was out.
Right.
So it wasn't as strong and as definite as Lloyd was, for sure. But I think Delgatti is probably going to be the center, and that just leaves right tackle and left guard for me. And I think Ethan Fields, like I said last night, Ethan Fields could give William Sanders a run for his money just based off of his experience in the SEC. And then Javen James for the same reason, for just having more experience, having quality starting reps as the right tackle in the SEC.
All right, but why did you bring up Jay when you saying that he could potentially be pushed by someone?
No, I was just saying I have him as probably would be that, just same reason why he'd be the right tackle.
All right. Who you got your eyes on, Kennington? As a potential guy
Yeah,
that may break in that front five, that first five.
yeah, I'm gonna go with Nick Brooks. Just he has the recruiting pedigree. Obviously, has some experience at a high level school. Played at Texas a little bit, so I think he's somebody as an older guy, again, that has the pedigree, has a little bit of experience, has been in the SEC. I would choose him as an opportunity, has an opportunity to maybe crack the five. And then beyond that, I think probably the most intriguing person in that second group and beyond that I will be looking out for is Ty Haywood. I just remember how, I don't know if venomous is the right word, but Alabama fans were salty when they missed out on Ty Haywood the first time around. And now he's here. How does he kind of scale up his potential going into year two? Because his peer, Jackson Lloyd, is ready to start at left tackle for Alabama as a redshirt freshman. So Ty Haywood, same age, probably was ranked higher than Jackson Lloyd, I would think, coming out of high school. There's obviously a lot of potential in there. How do they pull that out of him to turn him into a quality piece?
Yeah, and I'll throw a guy who I think Ty Haywood is one of those guys flying under the radar. I think Mal Waldrop, guys, we may be underestimating him. He kind of has some of that old school nasty offensive lineman in him. And if you're looking to develop a physical run game, I do think he probably fits that mold more than Sanders or Fields. So don't sell him out. I think Brooks, as you said, and I'm not sold that a Waldrop Fields doesn't, push at right guard and Sanders competes at center. I think that would be a pretty strong offensive line too if it's Sanders at center, Fields at right guard, or Waldrop at right guard, Lloyd at left tackle, Carroll, James, and or Brooks. And I've heard that Waldrop and Fields are pushing Sanders and that Brooks is pushing James. So I think Alabama's offensive line, Kennington, as you look at it, where we felt before transfer portal and where we feel after spring, and the likes of Strayhorn and Ty. It's a lot of talent in that offensive line. The question is, can they gel?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's possible, certainly, and I think for Alabama fans, something that I've said before about recruiting is if you're an Alabama fan, just focus on what Alabama is saying and doing as far as developing the offensive line. This idea that Alabama's offensive line can't be better because they lost a bunch of big names is just really disingenuous, because anybody who watched Alabama last year knows the offensive line wasn't good. So it really doesn't matter that Caden Foster and these guys are not on the team anymore. So the offensive line wasn't good last year. So,
Right.
you know, what I'm saying? It doesn't matter that these big names are gone. Can you find 5 guys that can gel together and fit the system? I think that's certainly on the table. So I would just caution Alabama fans not to feel so doom and gloom, like, oh my God, we lost, you know, these big names and these high draft picks. What are we gonna do? It's like, hopefully you do a little bit better than you did last year, right? Like,
right.
So I'm really interested in seeing how that plays out.
P. Fields asked question: Do we have the depth this year to maintain continuity? It sounds like we have a lot of options. I think he's specifically speaking line. I would say yes, P. Fields, that we do. I would really quick hitting back on heavy hitter saying offensive line is a group he wants to watch because he's looking for more of a cohesive unit and that will finish blocks until the whistle and he's okay if you have a little bit after the whistle. That's what I used to say, Kennington, about Landon Dickerson, is that, hey, with him, it's okay, Landon. If you go ahead and just hit somebody, you go ahead and get a penalty, one every so often. I'm okay with that because of that mindset. Kennington, which group are you most excited about, most worried about? And it may be offensive line, maybe the same thing. So go ahead.
Yeah, most excited about. I'm going to go with linebacker. There's just a lot of youth and unknown there. So I am interested to see who emerges from that group. You know, Luke Metz, Abdul Sanders, QB Reese, Caden Jones, Justin Hill, all these young guys are going to get an opportunity across the linebacking core to get out there and really play. So I'm excited to see how that plays out. The position group that I'm most concerned about, and I've brought this up many times before, and I'm going to keep bringing it up again, is the special teams. Alabama special teams has been a disaster the last 2 years. There's no other way to say it. And now they're going to have to replace every single specialist from the previous season. How is it all going to play out? Well, maybe they don't have to replace Connor Salty, but there is going to be a competition there at kicker. So if there's a group that I'm most concerned about, it's going to be special teams, just because, like, unlike, you know, a lot of these other positions, there's not a lot there to pull from that says that this group is going to be significantly improved from the last 2 years. So that's where I'm going to point to.
To ask a follow-up question about your most excited in the linebacker room, who are your 2 guys that you have going out there first to start the season?
Yeah, I want to say Caleb Woodson and QB Reese. I just feel like the QB Reese hype is palpable. And it's like when you hear coaches say, when you hear players say, when you continue to hear it reiterated over and over and over again, there's a tell there about what's happening inside the building. So I'm going to go with Woodson as the veteran and QB Reese as the young guy, but I think they're going to be playing multiple guys there.
Yeah, I think Metz and Reese are going to be 2 guys down the road that we're talking a lot about. Maniacs, we're going to give more thought, Simeon and I, as we move throughout the week. Xavier, when he joins us. So we're just giving this time to Kennington. We'll give you our thoughts as well. Kennington, if I told you that I talked to someone in the building and they said that last year they lost 70% of their people from special teams and depth becomes an issue. This year they kept 70%. Would you give special teams just maybe a little bit more hope? And he said he also said that our specialists, meaning the kicker and the punter, will be significantly improved. Would you give a little more hope around that group?
A little bit, yeah. But I'm going to need to see a lot more. And it goes beyond kickers and punters, too. Like, is Alabama going to have a game changer at returner? Because that's been a pretty dead position the last 2 years as well. So a lot of work to be done there. But, you know, to this point, about 70% of depth back, I'll give them a little credence.
Yeah, and I think that's what, when I asked the question, I think that's part of what we're saying. It said not only did we not have a returner, we didn't have anybody that could hold the defense off of the returner. So I think they went with the most sure hand guy in a heated environment. This year, I think they can block better on the punt return, because that's the only place you really have a chance for a game breaker. Kickoff return is a joke. So, closing thoughts, Kennington, as Alabama opens up camp this week.
Yeah, long last, we're finally here. Thankfully, talking season is over, and we get to see something real pretty soon here. So I'm excited to watch it unfold, and I'm excited to continue to talk about it with y'all.
All right, tell them where they can find you, man.
On Twitter/X at SkinnyKenny_ and at apnews.org.
All right, hey, that's Kennington Smith III. He joins us every Monday. Can't wait to hear what he breaks down after Alabama has a few practices under their belt. He'll join us next Monday to do just that. Stay tuned with us all week long, Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. every day. And hey, don't forget to go support Dixie Battery Supply. Dixie Battery Supply, they supply all of your battery needs. Never feel powerless again. And hey, listen, never feel disconnected again. Connect with the Martin Houston Show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and X. Like, follow, and share. And don't do the same for the Houston Huddle. Remember this, trust in the Lord always, lean not your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. I'm Martin Houston. That's Simeon Houston. This is the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. Roll Tide, everybody.
Come on now. Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.